then it will
Wednesday is a really, really cool place if you get a chance to go there. He's also a member of Metaforest in Japan. He joined us in September 2024, and his art in general explores the boundaries between real life and simulation. Henry?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Henry Tan. I'm an artist in residence. Today I will talk about the topic of the pursuit to understand life and bioaesthetics through an artistic research and creation part 1.5. Because when I start residencies in last years, I gave a talk, the same talk, but it's part 1. So this time I have to make an update. And these are my names, known by different places, and I'm officially from an artist in residence at NYUAD, on the website. I want to make sure that I'm legit. Okay, before I start, I would like to chant these memorial chants. A, T, G, C, A, T, G, C, A, T, G, C, A, T, G, C, the alphabet of life, a code that shapes each creator. Strive for science quest, they give their all, a sacrifice that answers the call. Let us honor their selfless deed, a tribute to their noble creed, for in their sacrifice we find a path to knowledge humankind. So this is a poem that I wrote for tributing to all the cells, artificial cells, lives that we use for experiments. We pay respect to them. Today I will share what I'm doing, who am I, what am I thinking, and what is he thinking, what did he do, what he's doing at CGSB, and then what is planned. This is very brief. If you want to take home with these messages, this is the message to take home. But if you don't want to take home, it's fine, totally fine. And then the last message is he worth a contract extension or another fellowship? So it's not about me, it's about people that I work with, and then the community that I'm from. Start from acknowledgement with Freak Lab communities in Thailand, Subsunton Lab in Thailand, and also Metaforest in Japan, and then also my teams at Henry Partners, and also down here, CGSB teams, and everyone here who are supporting all the knowledge sharings and all the times that are very precious that you guys have shared with me. I want to share one of these inspiring piece that kind of influenced my works. This is one of the statues, which is statues for artificial cells and life by Professor Hideo Kawasaki. Then in these stones, he inscribed different symbols of life, which is DNA helix, divided by layers, ribosome and eyes. Then he also inscribed that he acknowledged that these stones would help us kind of understand and rethink of how we understand the meaning of life, to understand the conditions that we are made to experience vitalities, as well as the history of the idea of life. So in part 1, I present this kind of my own pathway of understanding and try my pathway of research and explorations to art and science and understand everything. But this is my overall map and pathway at CGSB. It's very complicated. This is, I think this is the same way that I feel when I look at your guys' diagram. Yeah. So I kind of narrow down a little bit, but still confusing. So my main concern is about life, and then intersubjectivity of life. Try to understand what life means, and then from materialist view to panpsychism view, or more animistic view. How do we approach to understand the meaning and the knowledge of life? That's why I'm not only looking through the history, but also have to look at the scientific perspective as well. And one of the key concerns is about memories. I began to curious about what is the formations of the memories, what is the form, as an artist we try to understand the form, what is the form of memory inside our brains, what is the mechanism of how memory is formed, and then also kind of very much influenced by this aging society's problem that happened in Asia, and also myself, how we can address these problems to my research. And then one of the key what is the key? Anyway, I try to understand how life adapt and change into different environments, and then that causing these aging societies or memory loss or sleep deprived. So I'm kind of expanding into, from sleep I try to understand consciousness, from sleep I try to understand circadian rhythms, from aging society I try to understand is it possible to technically reverse aging or aging mechanisms, and then with conversation with many scientists, and then they also suggest me many ideas, many possibilities, many theories, and then I was questioning these informations that come to me. It's also how I look at social media, and all these informations also come towards me about supplements, new discoveries of drugs, new technologies of cure. So part of the project also expanding to the project called Elixir of Life, that we try to understand how people search for cure in different times in the histories. And then perhaps at this time, the tools is in your hands, stem cell technologies, biotechnologies, then how our general public would look and perceive this discovery or these technologies. Is it the same way that how people just believe in animism? This is one of the questions that I try to explore and link through my research and creations. So one of the projects that I've been creating last year is called the Pillar of Creations. Pillar of Creation is inspired from the Brahman, the Hindu god of creations. In Brahman's hands, he holds different tools of creations. One of the hands he's holding the bowl, which is down here, which represents the cosmic energy of creations. Another hand he's holding the script, which is represent the knowledge of creations. Another hand holding the rosaries, represent the time of creations. And then lotus or spoon, which is represent idea of rebirth or sacrifice. And he also has four faces, which represent different stage of man's life. So in Thailand, at these Enron shrines, people would go to the shrines to ask for fortunes, to ask for success. At the time that we with the societies that we are leans toward logical evidence-based knowledge, and then how people still go into these shrines and then ask for monetary returns. Then I start to kind of try to investigate further on this process and mechanism and all kind of transactions that emerge from these shrines. And I try to create these sculptures. This is not 3D models, this is actual sculptures. I try to reinterpret the tools of creations. Try to question back, like, if people really understand what tools that this god is holding, then what does it mean? or do you really understand the meaning of this God? Or you just go there because someone told you that they got a new jobs, or they won the lotteries, or they got new contracts. It's the same way that how we try to explore how this belief is emerged. With the cosmic bowl, the bowl that represents the cosmic energies, I try to create these brain organized incubators. Why brain organized incubators? Because I'm very interested in the stem cell technologies, the possibilities that seems endless, the promise of new hope. But is it the real hope? Is it or it's just an advertising scam? So that's why I have to try to learn and understand the science behind stem cell technologies myself. And with another hand, he's holding the tools of knowledge. So I try to create these DNA printers. So it actually can print water. Can be DNA. If you believe so, it will be able to print DNA. If you believe that is it a DNA inside? It's a DNA inside. Another hand, he's holding the rosary bead, which represent the idea of time of creation. So I'm inspired by this dementia clock, and I create this 2 billion dementia clock. The 2 billion system mechanism is try to keep itself as precise as possible, because it's kind of try to counter the gravitational force that happens to the clock. But the clock itself is a dementia clock. The clock itself forgets its own times. Dementia clock is the test why you are going for screening for the dementias or memory loss. People will have to go through like this drawing of the clock face, and then if you cannot draw like the whole face of the clock, like we see in a normal clock, if it's skewed toward one side, that means you have sign of dementias. So what if the clock forgets its own time? What does it mean? And then, in the process of the transactions, once people receive what they wishes for, people often go back to the shrine and then offer drinks, elephants, or dance. People would go there, offer very big elephant sculptures. People offer dance and performance. So I create these elephant sculptures as a way to question further, what does these elephants mean, and then what does it symbolize? On the last weekend on the open campus day, this one lady comes to ask me like, what is this? What am I putting inside this one? And then I told her it's G-Man F12 Glutamax. Of course, if you're not scientists, you have no idea what is G-Man. And then how much she asked, I said, it's 1,000 baht, because it's the same price of the mediums. And then I told her that, of course, if you drink this, then of course, you will look young, you will rejuvenate, and then she really want to try it, but she doesn't want to buy it, and then she asked me if I take the Falcon's money. No. So this project, the Elixir of Life, as an elephant, is kind of try to question the idea of elixir of life, how people look at medicines, look at supplements, look at things that they consume, and then how we try to make sense of that. Like my parents also heard about stem cell technologies for some injections that their friends had at a hospital, which cost very expensive. And they, of course, when they heard that, they would like to try it themselves. What does it mean? Is it real? Or is it the same way that the spirit doctors would just sell anything to anyone? How is this mechanism happening? So I'm really trying to understand that. And also questioning myself after I learned about this professors that talk about reverse aging technologies, the promise of reverse aging technologies that he can make it in mice. He can use Sirtuin or mTOR to reverse aging in mice. Partial reprogramming. What does it mean, partial reprogramming? What does it mean that he can actually reverse aging? But then he also talked about he consumed this resveratrol, he consumed this NMN or NAD, and then I bought it. And then I have to try it myself. I have no idea how it works, and then I have no idea if it really works or not, but I already paid. Twice. It even works. So, where now? 10 minutes left. Going back to this one. So I've been trying to understand different things, the belief of people, how it emerged, how do we look at biotechnologies, how do we look at the cure, which is also kind of touched into what different labs at CGSB has been doing. So now is the part that I was showing what I've been doing, CGSB. I've been visiting labs, different labs, not only for CGSB, I also visit tissue culture lab, visit applied interactive media labs, visit astroparticle lab, visit artist studios, visit MFA, visit engineer lab, visit robotic labs. I try to know what people are doing here, try to see, I mean, it's more like the more I eat, the more I have ingredients for myself to cook, and then metabolize. I've been joining seminars, many seminars, and also shout out to the team of Seminar Foods. I've been joining lab meetings. To be able to join the lab meeting is very precious time of my research and understanding to be able to follow how scientists actually works, solve problems, and how you can see how creative they are, see how they solve problems, how they struggle with the research, and then I have to also become part of that research to be able to really understand, truly understand, because if I want to create works that inspire from science, I don't want scientists to think that, oh, okay, this guy's come up with a crazy concept, but his technical understanding is really poor. So I have to catch up with the knowledge of these different research groups, which is really still really far behind. Then I met with this group called Neuro-ADs, it's the neuroscience clubs, and then we start to plan a series of workshops together, which I will share with you guys. And then also a chance to do a fire escape test, learn how to screen a zebrafish. I also try to pass are you a white type or knockout or mutant? What I got is a scratch. So science is hard, but cat is harder. And then I guess it's very exciting times to enter the lab because it's very difficult to access the laboratory in Thailand. Some of the lab that I want to work with, the door is completely closed, but at CGSB it's really open. I mean, not fully open, but I can walk inside. But of course, now I still have to pass through all the trainings and also convince different groups, TI, that I'm qualified, I can handle pipette properly, I won't contaminate the experiments. I'm getting there. Where? Yes. So from different activities that I had throughout these past months, there's one project that kind of inspired me. After I talked to this Arab Center for the Study of Art, they built this digital archive of Arab artists. And then after the conversations with them, we always discuss about the fragilities of works and memories, how they decide which artwork they want to keep or digitize, and how many copies that they have to keep for the digital archive. And then they also have fear and anxieties of losing these archives as well. So I can feel that because I also have different copies of my digital information. Then with new technologies, the transfer of new technologies, these data always has some risk of loss. So this anxiety is always there. So I proposed them that, is it possible that we can store all the Arab art digitals archived in the living zebrafish? Perhaps together with UHRF1 and SS3NT and plus NM1 as well. Then see if it's proliferates together with the cancers, or if it's what if zebrafish reproduce, how many information can we retrieve back from, or maybe what if we release it in the sea or in the water? What will happen? Are we gonna get arrested? And what if we put them into different gravitational force to speed up their life, or maybe slow down their life? What would it be? What does it mean if the people who are taking care of the archive also have to taking care of the fish? Because it's an archive of their life works, and I need budget for that. Then of course another project that I'm interested in is also try to learn how to grow and organize different organoids. Also try to create a system, the array to read out the signals from the organoids. So the organoids kind of essentially represent the surveillance technologies that monitoring us. What if we can feed them with our anxieties? Would it differentiate itself into cancer cells, or it would reverse itself to become iPSC cells? No idea. But this is another project that I'm trying to do as well, which is cost more than the previous one. So along with these two projects, I also initiate this series of workshops, which is one workshop called GMO Omakase. GMOs. Omakase is like we cook what we have to serve you guys. So one of the workshops that I'm interested in is how to think about the epigenetic trace of arsenics or toxins that are exposed to our ancestor. Can we see these traces in our bodies? Ancestor trauma is your epigenetic karma. In some cultures, they believe that what's happened to you is because of your karma. But perhaps we can look at your genes. Another project also called cooking memory DNA storage. So thinking about how can we store information into a DNA, can we cook them, and then can we revive them by eating this meat. And then another dream machine series. Next week I will have dream visualize workshops with Neuro80s and my colleagues here. We also will have a workshop on maybe talk about organoid intelligence, the rise of discussions on the consciousness of organoids, and then also another very intense Chronos drift. Try to have an experiment of 5 days completely in the dark to see how circadian rhythm shift in the bodies. Oh, wait. For the hard organoids, if we do the heart organoids and we can actually see its beating, it would be really interesting to see how someone has their own heart cells and beating outside the bodies. Then this project will name My Heart Will Go On. Then another curiosity is I'm interested in bioelectricities, how another scientists they so look at how different creatures have different charge of electricities that kind of governing how molecular expressions. You have no idea. But anyway, after talking to Khaled, I was really inspired by kind of conversations with him, and then he said, I asked him like how different neurons kind of project itself, try to catch and build together with another neurons. So you can see this small line. And then the secret is in this complex system that have appeared in all the beings, from the subatomic complexities to cellulars, to organisms, to societies, planetaries, universe. So this is how I was inspired by conversation with Khaled. I mean, if you look closer, perhaps you see nothing. But I see nothing, but maybe some scientists might see something. But if you look at a bigger view, maybe you might see something or you see nothing. Then, do I have enough time? No. Can I have 2 more minutes? No? Yes? Thank you. So perhaps I will end this talk with these videos that for the projects that we did last year. My name is Henry Tan. I'm an artist from Thailand. I'm one of the creators of the work Pillar of Creations, which is part of Emergence, curated by Fathomers. This exhibition is talking about art and synthetic biologies, and how synthetic biologies could give us a new definition of life. And today we have invited Mark Sogans from Ringside Cheese to perform a memorial service to the living and dead organism inside exhibitions.
Thank you, Henry.
Yep.
We have time for a couple of questions.
Yeah, just a quick one. Very interesting, very unusual. Same meetings. But so you presented all these projects. I'm wondering, with the I don't know how much time you have. Is it 1 year? So are you starting one project, or what do you plan to do? What are you doing? One project first, and then see if you have an end and a nice product out of it, or are you doing them all at once?
All at once. It's more like I keep asking questions.
This is a lot of things, you know. You have the heart organoids, I guess these are the organoids you're going to work in, and then, you know, neurons and culture, etc.? You're learning about all of these?
I try to learn everything.
Wow.
I mean, it's I understand that my mode of research and working is more like expanding. After I try to research on some point, and then it's kind of expand. If I research on sleep, then it's try to understand circadian rhythm, and then try to understand what's happening in the brain. Try to understand consciousness, philosophies of related to it, and then what is affected people sleep, how society is affected, how people could not sleep, and hormone affect people. So we try to keep expanding. After I touch one thing, then it's keep going. This is how I work. And I understand that our scientists will just keep going down, down, down. But now I'm going up. And then it's endless. Yeah.
That was really just delightful, and it's been such a joy to have you come to lab meetings and into our lab. But I was wondering about your idea about eating art to zebrafish and how you would get it out once they eat it.
Once they are, right? I mean, conceptually, after your permissions, then if we can actually able to encode information in the zebrafish, then we see if we can actually consume it, and then I'm not sure if we can actually take it out, but perhaps it become part of us, the memories and the information has become part of us.
Hi, thanks a lot. Actually, it's regarding the last piece that you showed where we see you holding your flasks and having that person behind it is performing a ritual, which kind of mixes the science and the spirituality. And something that I've noticed as a scientist is that we actually have a lot of rituals also. You know, we do lab meetings every week, we read papers every day, we go on retreats, right, where we disconnect ourselves from the daily life and actually think about our work. And I was wondering is that something that you perceived? How do you think about rituals in science, and especially what led you to kind of make that connection between the science and how we do the research, and then actually bringing in that other side of spirituality which you showed in the last time?
I kept asking a lot of people about what does ritual mean in different cultures, also from their personal view as well. From my cultures, my parents always take me to join different ritual activities that related to religious, or not exactly religious activity as well, but activities that we perform and tribute to some spirits, unknown, deceased ancestor. So it's very much influenced how myself and a lot of Thai people in societies live. Then I have a lot of friends who are scientists, and then before they do sequencing, sometimes they offer the flowers, put them on top of the machines, or before they do some big experiment, they also have to pray at the statue in front of the buildings. So somehow I also think that why are they still doing that? Because they are scientists. So it's kind of also influenced how I'm questioning these activities, and then even question it to myself as well.
One last question.
Hi. One of the things that really strikes me when I'm watching art, essentially in science, is that the music typically is always classical, and it bugs me. I enjoy classical music, don't get it wrong, I sang opera, but it bugs me because it almost feels like a constraint in the way that we are processing all these different dynamics that are occurring in the living organism. And I almost want to ask you about essentially how important is it to you that we sort of reflect the diversity that we have within the room in the emitting the production of the arts in science, because we're most certainly not made up of just classical music in terms of that transition.
I mean, different projects, I also produce different types of sounds, and another project, I also create like rap songs. I also wrote a rap songs. If you like, I can rap now, but
We'll save that for later.
personal rap, like personal magazines.
I really enjoyed like that particular genre of music being overlaid
Right.
in that. I think that should continue. The diversity of music that is associated to scientific processes,
Right.
even the extension of actin filaments shouldn't be just classical music, because drums are something that are progressive and they're demanding and structural. So I feel like the music sometimes needs to be thought about more carefully.
Right. Then I think to answer this question, Sam would be the right person.
That's a perfect transition. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is the inaugural resident who was with us last year, Sam Nestor, who is currently on the Juilliard School of Music faculty and the American School of Music. Sam.